Yahoo! Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to the Aquarian Adepts, my platform, our platform to become your spiritual server. And welcome to your daily reading for today, Tuesday, August the 28th of 2018. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. And what's really happening today in the astrology and for the cards that I drew? Well, we do have the moon finishing up in Pisces, and this has happening in the earlier part of the day. Of course, that depends on where you are in the world. But we also had, right at the beginning of the day, we did have Mercury in Leo squaring over to Jupiter in Scorpio. And this is a rather powerful square, because squares aren't necessarily the easiest aspect, but they also can prove to be the most life-altering aspects. They can prove to be aspects that bring about a lot of change and a lot of power. Mercury, which is now focused on communicating with the heart, making the square over Jupiter, is really calling into question and really where we're asking ourselves whether or not the desires and the dreams that Jupiter is opening up, whether or not it really does resonate with our heart, whether or not what we are receiving, the communication that we're receiving, is it from our heart? Is it from our heart's desires, the integrity that our heart wants to express? Or is this being perpetuated by outside influences? This is the moment of trusting our heart, because Jupiter is in the sign of Scorpio, which in many ways represents trust. So this is asking us to really trust our hearts, to really trust that we are speaking to our hearts. And honestly, I'm going to raise my hand. This is something that I struggle with, wondering if the thoughts that I hear, whether it's coming from our heart, from my heart, or if it's not. So that's actually something that I definitely have to work on and integrate. I do the best I can, as we all do, but that is kind of what we're starting off the day with. And at least if you're in the United States, this is kind of energy that you're going to definitely shining on us through our dream world. Also, we do, like I said, we have the moon finishing up in Pisces, coming to these last few degrees. In fact, at the time of me making this, it's at 28 degrees of Pisces, which happens to be where I have my natal moon. And it will slip into Aries and make conjunctions over to Chiron, as well as it continues, it will end up squaring Saturn. And at the tail end of the day, it actually will trine the North Node and sextile the South Node. This is really emotionally us feeling a little bit more connected to who we are, our behaviors, and really, in many ways, our ego, of course. But with this coming on top of Chiron, we're really trying to feel into who we are, and we could be reminded today of past behaviors or even current behaviors that we don't necessarily fully embrace. We might not necessarily enjoy these aspects of ourselves. And then, of course, making this square over to Saturn, this is really also calling into question. I believe this is going to be the last square that the moon makes to Saturn while it is retrograde, because the next time it will square Saturn will be when it hits Libra. And I'm pretty sure Saturn by that time will be direct, but I have to look it up. That being said, this square is really going to be asking us, it's like, we may feel like we want to do a certain thing or be a certain way, but we have to make sure that it is integrity, that it's something that we can build upon, it's something that has a future. We may have certain behaviors and actions or routines in many ways, even though routines is ruled by Virgo, the sun is in Virgo. So that's where we're shining the light of our awareness on right now. That's where the sun is. So we have to look at our behaviors and our actions and see how doing these things in the everyday definitely builds towards a certain goal or a certain destination. So we have to ask ourselves, with the whole square to Saturn, is whether or not we feel that what we're doing in our everyday life, the actions that we're taking, the moves that we're making, whether it will lead us to a destination and to a goal that resonates with our heart, that really resonates with what we want. Because as I said, the moon does come on top of Chiron before this. So we have the opportunity, of course, to remember that we can heal these aspects of ourselves, and we can turn this into a superpower. I like to think of Chiron as when you heal this aspect, it turns into a superpower. So we can heal who we are. We can heal, we can forgive ourselves for what we might have done in the past. We can forgive ourselves for what we might do in the future. But we absolutely have the opportunity to move forward, especially considering that Mars is now direct, the ruler of Aries. We're actually going to be afforded and really given this great opportunity to take powerful steps and change to move things forward and to really manifest the purpose that we really feel like we came here to do, the purpose that we felt we came here to fulfill. So, and the other thing is, like I said, the moon by the end of the day is going to trine over to the north node and sextile the south node, which this is saying that you absolutely can connect to your heart, which was where God and the universe is wanting us to connect to right now. With the north node, you absolutely can connect to your heart, express from that space, radiate that love. And with the sextile over to the south node, this is saying that you actually have the opportunity to open up and actually, even though it's the south node, there are people in your life that will embrace who you are, that will care for you, that love you for who you are unconditionally, regardless of what you might have done in the past, regardless of any behaviors that you have. There are people in your life that do love you, that do appreciate you, that do value you, beloved. So don't forget that, and make sure, of course, that you're connecting to the right people, feel through your situation. But there are people that are here to connect with you, that love you for you, no matter what you have done, that are able to look past any fears, doubts, any inconsistencies, any type of negative qualities that you feel like you harbor or you perceive that you have. There are people out there that still will show compassion for you despite that. And like I said, with that trine over to the north node, this is us being called into our heart space and to really move forward in our destiny. So definitely a powerful day of kind of remembering who we are, embracing who we are, healing who we are, and moving forward and taking the necessary steps every day to implement this change that we are feeling is rising up. And like I said, with Mars going direct, we are getting our firepower back. The cards that I have this week, for today, we actually have the Ace of Swords, and this is backed by the vibrations of change and integration. Because when I was shuffling, both of these cards came out. So the change, we have the frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so that we can appreciate the sweet release of the old and the rebirth of the new. And integration is the frequency of integration supports our embrace of every aspect of ourselves, allowing what we perceive as positive and what we perceive as negative to harmonize and balance the symphony of life. This is beautiful, especially considering the fact that the moon is actually finishing up in the zodiac and it's about to start all over in Aries. So this is calling for a change. It's calling us to spring forward. And with the Ace of Swords being backed by these two energies, this is about us really communicating this change to ourselves, whether we communicate it through actions, whether we actually communicate it through having affirmations, whether we communicate this to other people. The Ace of Swords is really giving us a great opportunity here to really take this change that we feel is coming up, to really integrate it, to implement it, and to actually harmonize these aspects that we see, to harmonize what we view as positive and as negative, and really become the alchemist, so that when we move forward in our day and, obstacles come up and opportunities come up for us to change, and we need to morph these situations, that we can actually move through it gracefully, fluidly. We don't have to allow these situations to really harbor down on us, to loom over us, and we can be like, oh no, I have to do this, I have so many things to do. We have to remember, like I said, the sun is in Virgo, but it's not saying that you have to figure out everything right now. We have 30 days of this energy. You don't have to figure out everything right now. Just take it step by step, day by day, but communicate your truth. Do not compromise your truth. And know that you are changing, you are integrating. Know that with all these energies coming off the eclipse, coming off a very powerful full moon in Pisces, there's a lot of energy right now. There's a lot of sensations right now. And as far as this year, we're taking a pivot point where the first half of the year was about clearing and healing. And the second half of the year is about implementation, implementing this change so we can really move forward in a profound way to where we can manifest our dreams, we can manifest our reality by having compassion for ourselves and allowing ourselves to move forward and to speak our truth. That is it for your reading today. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And if you'd like a personal reading with me, beloved, I am running a sale on all of my services right now as we speak, and this will go through the end of September for 25% off of all my services. If you would like to take advantage of that, you can follow the link in the description below too, theaquarianadepts.com. And always remember, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to keep moving forward, to stay focused, and Yahoo! Smile often.